We go now to the actual program, which I'm simply the chair of this session. There is Alicia and Peter who are going to welcome you in the formal way. So I will ask first Alicia to say a few words.
I'm still folding. I just wanted to welcome you all here today to the university, and thank you all for coming on yet another Hot London day. Really to reiterate what I said last night, the Cyprus Centre of London Metropolitan University has been very actively involved in promoting Cyprus and affairs concerning Cyprus to a very wide audience since 1988. We have for many years hosted conferences and professional lectures, both here in the UK and in Cyprus. We also have promoted exhibitions, organised seminars and book launches, again in London, Cyprus, and also in Greece. We have done this both independently and as with collaborative institutes, and I'm very happy to see you around the table. A lot of our collaborators from previous events who continue very kindly to support us in all our activities. The aim of the Cyprus Centre is always to address the current concerns or areas of interest to Cyprus. And this has been reflected in a lot of our conference themes and our seminar and lecture themes. We aim with our conferences to get published, and hopefully, if you all supply your papers following this conference, we will aim to publish the proceedings of this conference after today. And really that's what we're about. I have some information about the Cyprus Centre, so rather than going on too long, if anyone's interested further in our activities, I do have some information that I can pass out. So that's the Cyprus Centre. I want to welcome you all here today, and I will now pass over to Peter Droussiotis to welcome.
Thank you very much, Alicia, and thank you for hosting the event. Thank you to the university for making the arrangements, to you and John for all the work that you've done in the last few weeks, to make sure that this event happens. Your Excellency, my good friend, Cyprus High Commissioner, Stephanou, Cyprus Government Spokesman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a real pleasure, as well as a privilege for me, to be able to participate in this official opening of this important conference in Cyprus, which marks 50 years of independence for the island. I'm really delighted that the Cyprus Studies Centre has collaborated with Episteme once again, as well as with others, and we've been able to create a flexible forum for discussion and debate on the challenges and opportunities facing the island. From what I've seen, the conference will no doubt cover a lot of ground, and I'm sure that the quality of the debate will be very high, viewing the calibre of the participants. Unfortunately, after 50 years of independence, a milestone which should have been marked mainly by a celebration of the achievements of the Republic and the opportunities ahead. The division of the island and Turkey's illegal military occupation of its northern part loom large on the island's horizon. I'd like to share some thoughts as part of the introduction to our conference deliberations. I personally believe that notwithstanding the obstacles that exist, there is a unique, if not a unique, certainly a rare opportunity in the light of the direct negotiations that are currently taking place. There is an opportunity to reunite Cyprus. The emergence of Dr. Davis Eroglu, a well-known hardliner, to the leadership of the Turkish Cypriot community is not a good sign. Admittedly, that is not a good sign. But bearing in mind that Turkey makes all the big decisions in relation to Cyprus, my view is that a mutually acceptable, comprehensive settlement can be negotiated, provided that Turkey changes its position. I'm not so naive as not to recognize the many challenges which exist and which would no doubt follow even if a solution was achieved. But it is equally true that the broad outline of a settlement is already on the table. If the two leaders are guided in the negotiations by the key principles already agreed, if Turkey abandons its intransigent position, and if there is no outside interference, then a solution should be eminently possible and certainly achievable within a manageable timescale. Just to remind ourselves, the aim is a comprehensive and durable settlement based on a bizonal, bicommunal federation and political equality as defined by the relevant UN resolutions and the principles upon which the EU is founded. The settlement must be based on a single sovereignty, international personality, and a single citizenship. This represents our vision of the future of the island and the future of the whole of the Cypriot people together. I believe that this is a vision that we in this room share together. Certainly the vision that I'm working for and which inspires me as a Cypriot and as president of Episteme and the Federation. The last proposition I want to make relates to us as British Cypriots. We have not done enough jointly, Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots in this country, to support the great effort on the island to reach a solution and to contribute more meaningfully to the current process of direct negotiations. As I said last night, it is not, of course, our role as UK Cypriots to seek to negotiate a solution here in the UK. But we have a very significant contribution to make, intellectually and otherwise. And we can contribute in what is a benign environment in this country without the pressures that exist on the island, particularly in the occupied north. My friends, we can learn from the past, but we must not remain prisoners of it. The truth is that all communities suffered in Cyprus in the past, often in the hands of extremists, and importantly, often in the hands of people within their own communities. As a child living on the island in the 1970s, I felt as aggrieved when the Greek military junta staged a coup against President Makarios, as I did when the Turkish army invaded a week later. To me, both events were illegitimate and both diminished me as a Cypriot and by extension the whole of Cyprus. The fact though is that the coup barely lasted a week, whereas the Turkish army of occupation remains ever present 36 years later. My friends, we can be proud of our heritage, but we can also take strength from the diverse, multiple identities which often define who we are. That is as true of Cyprus and Cypriots today as it is of the United Kingdom and the concept of Britishness, for example. We must not allow the standard of the lowest common denominator in politics, nationalism, paranoia, and extremism, call it what you like, to determine what happens on the island and to define its future. I look forward to the debate. I will not be able to be here this morning for this morning's session, but I will join you this afternoon. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Peter.